I'm Carolyn Bensinger. I'm an artist. I'm a maker. Primarily, I make jewelry that I hope is extremely wearable and original. And I am very proud that when I make that jewelry, it looks beautiful, but you can also see that it's handmade and that it's my original work. I had art in my life, my whole life. I was always encouraged as a kid to make things, not particularly jewelry, but whatever, anything, make things, try different media. Some time ago, I don't really remember when, it was probably in the it was probably in the mid-'80s, went out to a big craft show, and they had a supplier's tent across the way, and I went in, and I said, it was a jewelry supplier's tent, and I said, a year from now, I want to know how to use those tools. I don't know what it was, but it was just, it hit me. And I started taking night classes because I was working full-time in healthcare. And the first class I walked into, I picked up a jeweler's saw, and it was like, this is what I should have been doing all my life. I worked in Boston hospitals, and I got a master's in public health, but there was always something missing. And clearly it was the art making, because I do other things as well as make jewelry when I have time. I like to sew, I like to paint, I like to draw. I have a website, and I was in galleries, around the country, and people would wear my work, and other people would ask where it was from, and they would get in touch with me and say, I'd like to buy, this and such. I look on my website, or I'll send you pictures. That's the way I did it. And I stopped doing shows some years ago because they were getting too expensive. The economy was bad. People were not buying jewelry. And it was very expensive to do the shows and exhausting. I will do small, if I have a display in a gallery now locally, which I did last year as well. Arsenal Center for the Arts, I have my work in their shop. If I'm invited someplace, if people ask me about my work, I am happy to send them pictures. I'm happy to engage them. It's not always clear to me when people admire my work and then say, well, no, this is not the right place for you to sell it, when I think perhaps it is. Well, I mean, somebody, for example, walked into a clothing store wearing my earrings, and everybody admired them, and she gave them my name, and they called me, and I discussed with them, and they said, oh, well, that's way too expensive. And people will go into a boutique and spend a great deal of money on a shirt that they're going to wear for a year, but they won't spend $100 on a pair of earrings that are made with precious metals that they will wear for the rest of their lives. I don't always get that. I think what I would do if I could do it over again is I would get somebody to help me market it. A friend or whatever, depending on what my success was, whether it was a regular jewelry rep, what my production abilities were, because I like to make the jewelry myself. I don't want it to go into production. I don't want it to look like it comes from a jewelry store in a mall. If you want that kind of jewelry, go to the mall. So I like to make it myself, and to have somebody who could help me bringing it to galleries for me or do a mailing for me would be great. And that's what I would advise somebody to do if they're on my side of the shy end. I also think that finding, I don't want to sound too whatever, but finding your bliss, finding what really works for you is what makes knowing yourself a little bit more achievable. Because when you're really doing what you love and you know that that's the right thing, then it's the real you. cbjewelry.com is my website. And there is, well, my email address is through that, or carolyn.bensinger@comcast.net. And I am always happy to hear from people and send them pictures or have them see my work somewhere. And I would be very happy if they wanted to buy it. I think that would be an excellent idea.